If you want these horror stories to continue, please subscribe now. And don't forget to like. They were not friends. They were survivors of different accidents, gathered by one guide for one reason: to conquer a mountain no one had climbed in 20 years. The mountain had no official name. Locals called it the Back Pusher. 6 climbers started the ascent. The wind already sounded wrong, like breathing. By the second day, ropes began to fray without touching rocks. One climber, Merrick, joked about it. 10 minutes later, the mountain shook. Not an earthquake, a single violent jerk, and Merrick was ripped loose. He didn't scream long. They heard bones hit stone, then silence. No one said his name again. They climbed in silence, but the mountain answered anyway. Footprints appeared ahead of them in fresh snow. Too many. Barefoot? At night, one tent slid, not slowly, like something shoved it. 2 climbers inside were dragged downhill, bouncing, snapping, screaming, until the mountain swallowed the sound. Only one body was found. The other kept leaving tracks upward. The guide admitted the truth. Previous teams didn't fall. They were pushed. The mountain didn't want climbers. It wanted balance. For every step upward, it demanded a life. Snow began moving against gravity. Loose rocks rolled upward. A climber named Ilya was lifted by a sudden wind, held in the air, then slammed downward repeatedly until his helmet split. The mountain was no longer hiding. They tried to descend. The path behind them vanished. Cliffs replaced snow. The mountain rearranged itself like a living maze. A voice echoed from above. Too many. Only 2 remained. They cut the rope between them. One ran. The other was shoved so hard, his body cartwheeled for minutes, hitting ledges, trees, ice, until there was nothing left to recognize. The mountain finally went quiet. The last climber reached the summit alone. There was no view, only hundreds of frozen bodies embedded in the rock. Arms stretched forward, as if still climbing. The mountain exhaled. Rescuers later found one set of footprints going up, none coming down. The mountain was renamed on maps, blank space. Some places don't need names. They just need bodies. Weeks later, satellite images showed something impossible. The summit had changed shape. A new ridge appeared overnight, sharp, twisted like a spine. At its center, a single moving dot, pacing back and forth. No weather explanation, no human signal, only motion. A recovery team was sent. Not climbers, geologists and military observers. They found equipment from past expeditions fused into rock as if the mountain had grown around it. One helmet still had a face inside, eyes open, frozen mid-blink. The rock beneath him was warm. At night, the sensors picked up vibration patterns, not random, rhythmic, like footsteps, massive ones, deep inside the mountain. The mountain wasn't shifting. It was walking internally. One soldier went missing during a perimeter check. They found his rifle bent backward, folded like soft metal. His body was discovered higher up, placed upright, feet dug into ice. His spine had been compressed downward as if the mountain tried to insert him. The mountain began rejecting technology. Drones fell straight down, crushed mid-air. Radios played voices that weren't on any frequency. Whispers repeating names of the dead climbers, including Marek. including the guide, including people who never went there. One geologist cracked. He claimed the mountain was incomplete, that it needed pressure, that humans were perfect, soft and tough to shape, solid enough to support weight. He walked uphill alone, smiling. The snow sealed behind him. A storm arrived, without clouds. Wind came from all directions at once. The ground tilted. 3 men slid sideways, not down, sideways into a vertical wall that opened like a mouth. The wall closed. No cracks left. Thermal scans revealed a massive heat source beneath the summit. Not magma, compressed organic mass. Thousands of bodies layered, crushed, fused, still emitting warmth. The mountain wasn't stone. It was built. The team attempted evacuation. The path back rose sharply, forming steps. Too perfect. Too inviting. Those who climbed the steps felt lighter until gravity reversed and snapped them downward, folding limbs inward. The mountain corrected itself again. Only one person escaped. He reached the helicopter, bleeding from the ears, screaming one sentence over and over. It doesn't kill, it balances. Behind him, the mountain settled, silent, waiting for the next imbalance. The wind howled as Lucas and Elena reached the final ridge. Snow sank beneath their boots, as if the mountain tried to swallow them. Shadows twisted across the peaks, brushing their legs with icy fingers. Ahead, a figure appeared, frozen in horror, eyes glowing faintly, mouth open in a silent scream. Whispers filled their minds, repeating every secret fear. "You should not have come," the mountain seemed to say. Lucas grabbed Elena's hand. "Run!" he shouted. They dashed across the ridge, paths shifting, peaks stretching, mist thickening. Flashes of past climbers reached for them with frozen hands. A massive shadow loomed, eyes like coals. The snow beneath them vanished. Heart pounding, they leapt together over the ridge, rolling through the snow into a hidden valley. The mist lifted, sunlight breaking through. The mountain was quiet, but its mark remained. Shadows always wait, patient and eternal. Lucas and Elena survived, but they were never the same. The end. If you want these horror stories to continue, please subscribe now and don't forget to like.